The gift of service leads to a life of love. Hence, I would like to start with inviting the President of ISWA, Mr. Supriya Guha, and Mrs. Shushmita Guha on stage. Supriya has been extensively involved in community work for the past 12 years in Perth through Bengali Association of WA, ISWA, and other Indian community organisations.
A good leader often reflects the strength and the hard work of its full management team.
So let's call on the management team. Mr. Virena Saturdi, Vice President. Mrs. Rupa Saturdi, Vice President of Indian Association of WA, Head of ISWA Business Wing, Deputy Project Manager and Coordinator.
May I invite Dr. Papuri Barua, the Secretary of Indian Society. She is one passionate volunteer, the Secretary, and she chairs the Women's Wing of Indian Society of Western Australia. She has been the past President of Assam Association, the founder member of Perth Convention of Australia and New Zealand. Mr. Subrata Bhattacharjee, the important man, the man with the money bag, the treasurer, and Mrs. Rashi Bhattacharjee. Mr. Subrata's 16 years of experience in leading technology and transformation in major banks, he has been of great help to ISWA.
Mr. Satish Nair, Assistant Secretary, and Mrs. Sindhu Nair, an exploration geologist with more than 25 years' experience, currently working as Exploration Manager. Notable community work includes COVID assistance and reparation flights for the temporary residents of Indian origin. Mr. Renchi Matthews, Assistant Treasurer, and Ms. Linda Matthew, Assistant Treasurer of ISWA. Renchi Matthews from Kerala State, 16 years in Perth, wife Linda Matthew, and blessed with 2 children, fellow member of Institute of Chartered Accountants of India.
Again, we have another chartered accountant coming on the stage, Mrs. Nivedita Kelkar, the committee member, and Mr. Satish Kelkar. She was the treasurer of ISWA from 2018 to 2020. She is currently the vice chair of ISWA Women's Wing. Mrs. Kritika Shah, the committee member, and Mr. Jignesh Shah, the health professional, the vice chair of Women's Wing, recipient of GSWA's Shiromani Award in recognition of the services to Gujarati Samaj, Kritika Shah.
Mr. Anil Jain, committee member, and Mrs. Abha Jain. Anil is past president and treasurer of ISWA, the current MC member. He is the head of Constitution Review Committee and Seniors Wing of ISWA. Mr. Deepak Sharma, committee member, and Mrs. Rashmi Sharma, a very active community member associated with multiple Indian associations, including Hindu Siam Sevak Sangh, Perth, and non-executive director of Midlas, a disability advocacy agency.
I have the pleasure to invite the guy who keeps us all fit, Mr. Deepak Gupta and Mrs. Manisha Gupta. He's the yoga guru. He has been conducting yoga classes for so many years under the umbrella of ISWA. Mr. Rakesh Ban, the committee member, and Mrs. Jyoti Ban. Mr. Rakesh is a mechanical engineer by profession. He's the chairman of ISWA Students' Wing and founder of Kashmiri Pandit Cultural Society of Western Australia. Last but not the least is Mr. Surya Ambati, the committee member, and Mrs. Satya Ambati. Mr. Surya is passionate about the community service. He has served ISWA for more than 10 years. And I had the pleasure to work with Mr. Surya Ambati on the 50th Sangam celebration. This is that hard-working team, ladies and gentlemen. Give one round of applause.
I'd like to request Mr. Supriya Guha to remain on stage and please come and share his vision of ISWA.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I extend a very warm welcome to you all to Sangam 2021 Incredible India. I'd like to begin by acknowledging the traditional owners of the land on which we meet today. I would like to pay my respect to the elders, past, present, and emerging. May I also please acknowledge our distinguished guests and our dignitaries here. Honorable Dave Kelly, Honorable John Sidma, Dr. Jags, Honorable Kate Doust. Kate has just, she's not keeping very well, so she sent her apology. Ms. Margaret Quirk, Ms. Jessica Shaw, Madam Dantu Charandasi, Councillor Yasho Panuthurai, Councillor Shanavas Peter, Professor Kelly Smith, Dr. Ting Cheng, Dr. MSN Shahid, Mani Paneru, Mr. Franco Compass, Dr. Mike Nahan, and Mr. Tony Kristovich. All dignitaries, guests, ladies and gentlemen. This year, Sangam is extremely significant on two fronts. On one front, as we know that Indians across the whole world, we are celebrating 75 years of India's independence, a mega celebration journey that has started this year and will be culminated on 15th August 2022. I extend my sincere thanks to Madam Dantu Charandasi, the Consul General of India in Perth, for inculcating that spirit of celebration here in Perth through various activities, initiatives, in collaboration with ISWA and Indian organizations. Sangam 2021 is our flagship presentation in that direction towards that goal. On the other hand, ladies and gentlemen, Sangam is also a time to pause and reflect on the challenging time that we all are living in, and particularly so our folks back home in India. This COVID-19 pandemic has taught us how to stick together as a community and how to help each other in the time of need. ISWA, as the peak body of all Indian origin organizations in WA, as you all know, in collaboration with the member associations, has played an instrumental role in supporting thousands of international students, temporary residents, elders, and other community members impacted by the COVID-19 over the past 16 to 18 months. We also organized the first chartered flights last year, if you remember, to send our stranded Indians back home when the COVID was still unfolding, beginning to unfold. And as a community, we have demonstrated absolutely fantastic resilience, compassion, and togetherness in supporting each other. And I personally feel extremely proud to be part of the diaspora that has never been same before. We stand with our people affected by COVID-19 by hosting Sangam as a fundraiser event this year. A part of the revenue coming from this event will be used to assist Indian international students in Western Australia who are impacted by COVID-19. As you know, we have been doing that for the past 1 year, thanks to the lottery waste grant that we received last year. Now we also wanted to extend part of this money as well towards that cause. And in this regard, I would like to acknowledge and thank the Western Australian state government for the generous $2 million grant that has been given to various Indian organizations, including ISWA, to support people back in India. So I would like to thank the government for that as well. Over the past 2 years, ladies and gentlemen, we have shifted gear. In ISWA, we have shifted gear massively towards social and community initiatives. We have established a student wing. We have established a women's wing, a senior wing, to drive various social and community initiatives for our students, women, and seniors from Indian community. We have also established a business wing to connect with our Indian origin businesses. We have health and fitness wing that conducts various initiatives, and our yoga is a front runner in that space. We have also established a medical advisory group in association with Australian Indian Medical Association. This has been a great collaboration, and we are setting together strategy and vision and various short-term and long-term initiatives to support health and medical cause of the community. This year, we have a very big milestone coming up, ladies and gentlemen, and I'm very excited to announce that. It is the completion and the inauguration of Indian Community Centre. Our dream project, thank you. Our dream project of 50 years is coming to its realization. This is the first community organization-owned community center for Indians in this entire country. And we should all feel proud for being a part of this journey in whichever capacity during our lifetime. This doesn't happen every day. We are very, very lucky. Our ICC project team is running in full stream and doing a tremendous amount of work with the construction of ICC. On 2nd October 2021, ladies and gentlemen, we would like to inaugurate Indian Community Centre on the very auspicious day of Gandhi Jayanti. God willing, that is the day we raise our flag in Indian Community Centre. And my sincere thanks to everyone, to the federal government, to state government, to City Council, Council of Canning, City of Canning Council, the councillors, Consul General of India, Government of India for providing the Mahatma Gandhi statue to us, all the life members, all the community members, all the founding members. I mean, we can't really take all the names, right? But it's really the 100,000 Indian diaspora, the support that all of you have provided. My sincere thanks and gratitude to all of you. And this has been running for several management committees. As you know, this was initiated in the previous management committee in the time of Mr. Surya Ambati. The property was purchased. This management committee took the responsibility to execute the project. It's a cumulative effort of several leaders, thousands and thousands of Indian community members here. So I think we all need to feel proud about this. This year, we're also shifting gear with respect to Diwali Mela. Now we are shifting Diwali Mela this year, again, subject to some of the things that we need to sort out. We're shifting it to Opta Stadium. So we are shifting Diwali Mela to a newer height. Thank you. And I think that would be a lot more interesting and a lot more exciting. It is much closer to the city, location-wise. Thank you. I know this is going to be a very highly spirited Diwali celebration this year. Right after the Sangam, you will start hearing the communication about it. But it is on 30th and 31st of October 2021. We'll have Diwali in Opta Stadium. Finally, ladies and gentlemen, I take this opportunity to acknowledge the entire organizing team of Sangam under the tremendous leadership of Mr. Virana Satareddy as the overall coordinator and Rakhi Bose as the cultural coordinator, the entire team. This team has put in so much effort over the past several months to stitch together an event at a very complicated time. So big round of applause to the entire organizing team of Sangam, ladies and gentlemen. And last but not the least, I'm very thankful to our sponsors, our partners, our members, our corporate, life, and association members, and all our community members, and all the governments and the opposition leaders for your continued support to ISWA, to member associations, and to the entire Indian community. With that, ladies and gentlemen, I welcome you all over again to Sangam, and I hope that you enjoy a fantastic and extravagant evening. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Can I please request Mr. Supriya Goa to come back on stage, please? And can I also request the Honourable Dave Kelly, Minister of Water, Forestry, Youth, representing the Premier of Western Australia, to come on stage and address this auspicious occasion, please.
Good evening. On behalf of the Premier of Western Australia, Mark McGowan, it's lovely to be here. He wishes you all well for this very important event. Can I begin by also acknowledging the traditional owners of the land on which we meet, the Whadjuk people of the Noongar Nation. I pay my respects to their elders, past and present. When you look at a crowd like this, you can often think that we are the smartest generation that has ever walked the planet. But when you listen to the acknowledgement to country from someone as knowledgeable as James, it's wise to remember that the traditional owners of this land have cared for Western Australia for many, many generations. He spoke of a time when he could take a cup and drink from the stream. As Minister for Water, I find that very interesting because we know that in a couple of hundred years of non-Aboriginal occupation of this land, you can't drink from many streams anymore because we haven't cared for the land the way Aboriginal people have for 60,000 years. So we can learn a lot from traditional owners and so it is very appropriate that we acknowledge their ongoing custodianship of this land. Can I also acknowledge the many distinguished guests that are here tonight? The President of the Indian Society of WA, Mr. Supra Guhan, and the whole of his board who are out here tonight, the Management Committee, who do such a wonderful job. Jorn Sigma, representing the Leader of the Opposition. Dr. Jaggs, the member for Riverton, one of an outstanding group of Labor members of Parliament who are of Indian descent. I've heard Dr. Jaggs speak a number of times in Parliament, and in a short time he's really making an impact. Jess Shaw, Margaret Quirk are also here, members of the lower house, and I also see Mike Nahan, former Leader of the Opposition, is here tonight as well, along with all the other distinguished guests tonight. What a wonderful event this is. It's not only, it's a celebration of 75 years of Indian independence, but from the state government's point of view, it really is another event which just shows the marvellous contribution that the Indian community make to all facets of West Australian life. You touch almost every part of our West Australian economy. We benefit so much from the skills you bring, from the drive you have to contribute to making Western Australia one of the best places on the planet to live. And as a state government, we want to encourage you. We are strongly supportive of a multicultural Western Australia, and the drive that you bring to the business community is just outstanding. Cultural diversity is also something that we prize as a state government. You bring so much to the cultural mix of Western Australia that is so much appreciated. The fact that you will be opening your first Indian Community Centre in October is absolutely fantastic, and as a state government we're pleased to have contributed $1.5 million to that project. Of course, we live in very difficult times with COVID-19, and our hearts really do break when we see people not only in our community but around the world who are struggling with the impacts of COVID-19, and no more so than in India. As a state government, we share your pain as you see your families and friends really suffering at the very dark end of the pandemic. We're pleased to have been able to make a small contribution, $2 million in emergency relief fund, along with some shipments of personal protective equipment to assist your families and your communities back in India. But we know that this pandemic has a long way to go. We have worked hard to keep people safe here in Western Australia, and we thank you as community members for assisting us in doing that. As a state government, you can't do it from the top if you don't have support from the community. So on behalf of Mark McGowan, he passes on his sincere thanks for the contribution you've all made to keeping us safe, and we look forward to continuing to work with you to assist where we can your families and your communities back home in India. Can I also just thank you for the really extraordinary work that you've done as a community to assist members of your community here in Australia who have been doing it tough, in particular overseas students. You really have, over the last 12 months, done some outstanding work to assist members of your community get through the economic and the emotional and social problems that COVID has thrown up. So thank you very much for the contribution you've made there. So I'm looking forward to the rest of the evening. It will be a great event. Incredible India. Some people would say that that's an overblown. It's a very strong statement. But when you look at India and the history of India and what India has contributed and continues to contribute to the whole globe, Incredible India is really a fitting title for this event. So on behalf of Mark McGowan, the whole West Australian Government, congratulations for your contribution to WA. Enjoy the evening and I look forward to this great year of independence celebrations. Thank you very much.